How much land do you think Burger King has to own for it to be recognized as a kingdom? Hey there, kiddos. Welcome back to the channel. I'm Uncle Frank. I'm that you are having a great day. And in today's video, I want to sit back, relax, and have a very short video because I originally just wanted to get something off my chest, something that's been bothering me for a very long time, ever since I was a wee lad, in fact. But really, it's just the fact that one small change can really make the difference when it comes to your enjoyment of a game or an aspect of a game. And this branches from something I was actually just thinking about earlier today is the fact that, in my opinion, I think ritual monsters, as they were initially given to us in Yu-Gi-Oh, were extremely poorly implemented. And what I mean by that, way back in the day, years and years ago, a little set called Magic Ruler and then Spell Ruler uh, gave us ritual monsters for the first time in the Yu-Gi-Oh TCG. Relinquished, Performance of Sword, Crab Turtle, and Hungry Burger. I think those were the four from the set. I might be missing one, but I'm pretty sure that was them. And with the exception of Relinquished, which was a pretty solid card, did see some play, most rituals from that set, three of the four in fact, 75%, were basically unplayable. And that was a trend that continued for a very long time. Rituals have basically never had meta relevancy for any real extended period of time. There's things like Demise OTK. I understand Demise is a very powerful monster. He deserved his wins. But for the most part, most rituals and their support decks just did not have a lot of relevancy. And part of this is just due to the resources necessary, especially when you compare them to other special summoning mechanics. And I think this is partially because rituals were introduced so early into the game that Konami didn't really understand all of the resources they had at play. Fusion monsters, XCs, ritual, synchro summons, they all exist in the extra deck, right? Those are all extra deck monsters. Link monsters are also extra deck, I think. I don't know. I've not played with a single Link monster, so I actually don't know if those exist in the extra deck or not. I think they do, though. Those all exist in the extra deck, so the resources needed to summon them are just the summon material components. Polymerization for fusions, a tuner for synchros, two monsters that have the same level for XYZs. But for ritual monsters, you need the ritual monster itself in your hand, and the ritual spell card in your hand, plus whatever you're sacrificing in order to get the summon across. And this has always made this mechanic really janky, and it's meant that most rituals have just not seen play beyond kitchen table. Because I do remember playing with some ritual monsters way back in the day, just that they weren't great. And I feel like that one change, if ritual monsters had just been slotted into the extra deck alongside the fusion monsters at the time, I think that things might have been different. Sure, those early ritual monsters that didn't have effects and had really low stats, those ones probably would not have seen play, but sooner or later, even some of the mid ones that would never see play now because of the current rules, they might have seen play just by putting them in the extra deck so that they don't have to take up a slot in your hand. And this is not something Konami can go back and change. Ritual monsters have been a part of the main deck for so long. There's all kinds of cards and support that care about drawing or searching your deck for them. In fact, some of the ritual spell cards help you find your rituals. So Konami can't just go back and change it so that ritual monsters always have existed in your extra deck. That's just not going to happen. So this is, in my opinion, a mistake that they can't go back and fix just because it's so built into the way the game is played now. And I feel like there's small things like that spotted throughout various card games. Small mistakes that you can't just go back and fix. You can't just errata it away. That do hamper your enjoyment of the game quite a bit. Small or a lot, I'm not going to turn murderously purple over ritual monsters. But I'm sure that there's other people out there like me who are just like, I wish this was done better. But yeah. There's just small nicks and dings here and there that have slightly dulled what would otherwise be a enjoyable new mechanic or a interesting meta. Look at, for instance, how Eldrazi were re-implemented into the game during Battle for Zendikar block, and the interesting companions. Companions for Magic the Gathering, that was an interesting choice. It was not the best implemented mechanic, and it resulted in one of the first like vintage or legacy bans. Luris was banned in a format that like really surprised everyone just because of how good he was. Yeah, so like companions, one of them got banned basically everywhere, and then the entire mechanic needed a rehaul. So that just shows that like one small mistake can really like cause a lot of negativity and impact to resonate throughout the games. And when you see something like that, not only does that affect like the meta in the moment, because it can affect the meta in the moment. If you make a big enough mistake, it can affect tournament results and tournament turnout. But it can also like cause mechanical hangups behind the scenes. You can't predict the future. You don't know what these guys are working on behind the scenes, but I'm willing to bet that they were probably workshopping some designs behind the scenes for new mechanics that they're releasing now. So like they release a new mechanic in a set today, they're probably already behind the scenes workshopping something for the future. So if that mechanic comes out and it's a dud, or it completely warps gameplay around it, they gotta like work behind the scenes to try and fix things, right? Or to maybe scrap whatever future mechanics they have to work with that one. And there's really no lesson to be learned here. It's just it's a natural aspect of gaming. Obviously, if you are a game developer, a game programmer, game designer, whatever, if you're working on stuff for a card game, you learn your lesson to move on. You can't go back and fix mistakes like that once they're built into the game. You can't go back and make it so that companions were never printed. You can't go back and fix ritual monsters. You can't go back and get rid of, what was it called? VMAX cards? Whichever ones is like multiple Pokemon cards to make one Pokemon. I don't remember what mechanic that was. But it's bad and I don't like it. That's my controversial Pokemon opinion. I don't like the V-Union. That was it. V-Union. Not a fan of that. You can't just go back and erase those, so you got to be a bit careful when you do stuff. And I shouldn't say never try anything new, never try anything experimental. But, put it out there, try your best, learn from your mistakes, and move on. And don't dwell too much on the past, because that's how you get people who are constantly whining about whatever random nonsense and not getting anything done. So, that's all. That's all I wanted to do today, just ramble on a bit. This was going to be a video about ritual monsters. Then I was like, you know what? No, I'm not going to spend an entire video just rambling about ritual monsters. Let's ramble about mistakes instead. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed. Please like, share, subscribe, all that jazz. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you next time.